My deepest fear is not that I am inadequate. My deepest fear is that I am powerful beyond measure. It is my light, not my darkness, that most frightens me. I ask myself, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who am I not to be? I am a child of the universe, and my playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around me. We are all meant to shine, as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of the universe that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as I let my own light shine, I unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As I am liberated from my own fear, my presence automatically liberates others.
Hello. Welcome to another episode of the deMysticism podcast. These are my sacred conversations around radical self-love. And I went back to my original intro that I made when I began this podcast because I think it's relevant to what I'd like to bring into the conversation today. So this has been quite a week in my life. And when I started this, the intention was to be a very authentic and real exploration into my current experience, coming from a place where I can share wisdom that I've gained at this point so far in my life and wisdom that I'm gaining at this current phase of my journey. I am in a total and absolute rebirth, and it has shown up in some surprising ways in the past week. We are, as I'm recording this, right on the heels of the first eclipse of September 2025, and it rocked my world. And the first episode of this podcast, I talked about this witch wound piece, and I brought that intro back in because I kind of want to touch on that a little bit and how that relates to what we create in our experience, what shows up in our experience. And I'm going to touch back on, I can't remember if it was last week or when I brought up working with goddess energies, and Kali being one of my favorites. And Kali, known to be a goddess of, I will say, loving destruction. She is one that will come along and clear the path, clear things from your life that are not helping you head toward your highest good. And I am starting to recognize that with this whole idea of witchiness and where do I want to be? What do I want to create? How do I want to shape my life? And calling in goddess energy, holy cow, that combination is gonna make it happen one way or another, and it's gonna make it happen sometimes in pretty painful ways. I'm trying to dance delicately around how I can share the lessons learned without putting other people's personal experiences out on display. There has been some changes in my own experience that I really didn't anticipate, didn't see coming. And at the same time, I am trusting that as we work with eclipse energy, and this particular eclipse was really about clearing and cleaning house and cleaning up your shit, as one of my favorite teachers likes to say. And sometimes that comes in the form of taking things out of your life that you didn't know you never thought you wanted removed from your life. And, I've shared on here before, 6 months ago or so, I started to feel this, that I wasn't really feeling like I was meant to be in the corporate world. I kind of playfully said, I just want them to eliminate my position and give me a severance package. And the universe said, okay, here you go. There you go. There it is. I have asked to call in experiences around love and connection with the masculine. And the universe said, here you go. Here's something to experience, something to learn from. I actually specifically had said I wanted to have a dirty hippie phase, and that happened. That happened. And as I've been trying to build this business, in this new entrepreneurial endeavor, building something that is sustainable for me, where I'm sharing these gifts that I love to put out into the world, whether it's sound healing, teaching yoga, coaching people one-on-one, working with people with Reiki sessions, or the sound bowl massage. I have so many different service offerings. And I was feeling a little scattered in my life and trying to disperse my energy in many different directions, including having a teenage daughter that's a full-time job in itself. And I had kind of asked for a little more time and space to stay focused on my business. And my partner, who I have mentioned on this podcast before, took a little, we'll just call it a vacation away, and was having a great time. And I started to build a lot of momentum in what I needed to do and create. And I felt myself feeling this sense of, I do a little better without distractions. And I also shared in a previous episode, I love to work with my goddess energies, Kali and Goddess Isis and Mary Magdalene, and calling in that support. So we've got this beautiful, powerful lunar eclipse, and I'm working with Kali energy. This is our goddess of destruction and clearing, and the path got opened up. Things got cleared from my life in a very, very, very painful way. Painful for all involved. And, certainly when two people come together, they are each on an individual path, whether there is one that converges for a time, for a season, a reason, a lifetime, right? And whether his was impacted by eclipse energy as well, I don't know. But decisions were made, things happened, and this partnership has dissolved. And I did not think that I was going to get emotional about it. It's been very difficult. But what I want to share from a lesson standpoint, because this is the goal of this podcast, and I committed to recording it every week and debated whether I should just skip this week, but I really want to be authentic in what I'm sharing. And half of this is just for me at this point. This is like my video diary, but I do think that we all come onto this planet, we learn lessons, and if we don't share what we learn with others, we're not adding value to the world, because we're all here to share and learn. And the more collective experience we gather, the better we make it for all the people that come next, for the future generations, because we all learn how to be in these human bodies, navigating this human experience and helping each other along the way. So I learned this past week about boundaries as it pertains to radical self-love. I had no question in my mind about what is and isn't acceptable in my experience, about communication, about honoring one's word, about honoring the commitments of partnership. And I have had to ruthlessly protect my own energy. And you can simultaneously love someone, be incredibly hurt and angry about their mistakes, and forgive them, and also not be willing to accept that energy into your experience. So when we talk about radical self-love, and I'm probably just going to keep this really short, but when we talk about radical self-love, I have finally learned in my experience what boundaries truly mean in that regard, because it is all too easy for me to see only the good in a human. And we all have shadow and dark, and we all have our wounds that will express in different ways. And certainly each and every one of us has done harm to another. Nobody gets to say that they didn't. So my boundary is that I won't accept certain things into my life, and I made those very clear. And as painful as it is, there's things I will love myself more than turning a blind eye. Not how I have historically always approached these things. So healing has occurred. Healing is occurring, even in the midst of pain. I was listening to some podcasts around these dark night of the soul moments and these times in our lives where we feel like we really get kicked. And mind you, this particular painful incident is happening at the same time that I am in a moment of trying to build an entrepreneurial business that feels kind of scary. It's getting scary. As I, embarked on this, there was resources. They were there. They were. I live in a world where I believe in true abundance, and I'm working on this relationship with money and how it flows in and through, and it's a work in progress. So there are moments where that 3D reality of looking at the bank account gets scary. And sometimes when you have someone by your side just to tell you, hey, it's going to be all right, whether or not they have any ability to change that for you or not, it's a little bit different to get launched very unexpectedly into you're back out there on your own. And at the same time, trust me, I have shed a lot of tears, but I know I'm going to be okay. I am okay. I'm okay in this moment. I will always be okay. And this is because I know that I know in my core at this point that I love me more than sacrificing me. I will love myself so fiercely, knowing that I have gifts to give to the world, and I have to do that from a place of wholeness. And part of my healing journey seems to be moving through the pain of connection and disconnection. And what that shows me. It's all pretty raw, so it's a little bit hard to articulate in this moment. I don't know if there's any value coming from this episode. Part of me is like, are you really even going to publish this? Remains to be seen. If you're listening to it, then apparently I decided it was worth publishing. But this will get published on 9/9. This is said to be a wonderful opportunity to portal into new beginnings, and that is happening because I have no choice. And I'm just going to leave you with this thought. When you truly, deeply, I love the word ruthlessly here, when you love yourself, like your core, you love that higher self that you know you are, from the purest place of nothing will shake this. This is the love nothing will shake, is the one with me and my higher power. I mean, my spirituality has played a massive role in the last few days, working through healing my heart, which is going to take some time. But when you just radically, there we go, that's the word I want to use, when you radically love yourself, how does that show up for you? And next time you are faced with a really challenging, really painful situation, let the emotions flow. Be in it. You can be angry. You can be sad. You can be confused. You can be all the things. And there will be a moment where that wave of emotion subsides, and you can take a breath and you can say, when I radically love myself, what's the right answer here? And then you get quiet and you listen and you know. Yeah, we're going to make this one quick. Sending love to everyone, everywhere, in every direction. I hope that my pain can help you. I am here for you if you're listening to this, and you have experienced something similar. And I do work with people one-on-one. I will help anyone get through this, obviously within reason. I won't work with people that are too close to me in these situations. But yeah, come to a yoga class, come to a sound healing. I've got many opportunities to connect. But when you radically, deeply, wholeheartedly love yourself, how does that show up for you? Maybe if you even take a step outside of the situation, like you're talking to a friend or your child, or you can put yourself across from yourself and say, what would you do? Right? Like take yourself out of that deep, overly sensitive spot and recognize there is another side, but you have to choose you. You always have to choose you. Okay. We'll see if I publish this, but if you're listening, thank you. Can't wait to see what next week brings. Sending you all love. Talk to you soon.